Welcome to Make the Grade with the Success Doctor, Stephen Green, where you'll discover actionable strategies to help your student to reach their academic goals, to excel at standardized testing, and to plan for the college admissions process painlessly. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Green.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Stephen Green, the Success Doctor, coming at you here with another episode of the Make the Grade podcast. Today, number 2 in the series of case studies, success stories, action things that students and families did to maximize their education. So for my subscribers and listeners, this is a common theme here. This is all about how can you listen to this podcast or watch on YouTube at the Make the Grade channel and take action immediately. Take something from the video or the audio and go put it in place right away. That is always my goal. So I'm going to talk today about a middle school aged student. Okay? And this is a quote. This is right out of my book, Maximum Education. It's one of the case studies in there, but it's a really good one. And this is a quote from the mother. I felt like my daughter is always behind in school. When we look at her grade report, she's always missing homework assignments, which hurt her grades. How hard is it to just hand in the homework after you do it? Now, I probably could say signed frustrated parent in Nebraska or wherever she is. Actually, I know where she was, but frustrated parent. And this is just so common. I hear this all the time. Sometimes students do the work, but they don't have a system to make sure it gets submitted, which obviously doesn't get credit for it, and then they don't get points. So let's talk about this. This particular student she was in 7th grade, and the mother called me right after she got the report card for the first marking period. So the grades were there, they were done. What she wanted was a clean slate and a new way to approach the second quarter. Okay? Now, she was under the impression, having talked to her daughter and not really accessing any of the online circumstances where you can get grades, that she was doing fine. Every time they talked about it, yeah, I'm doing great, I'm getting really good grades, tests are easy, I'm doing all my homework, so on and so on. Does that sound familiar to any of the parents out there? And the parents felt, listen, she's in middle school now. We want to foster independence. We need her to be able to do the work independently. We don't want to be quote unquote helicopter parents. always, always on top of everything. And they wanted her to be independent. So they were trusting this process at the time. They weren't really monitoring her homework or even her grades for that matter. Well, obviously it didn't work as well as possible. And just to be clear, this was not a student who was failing. She was getting high C's, low B's. The expectation of the parents was more, at worst, high B's, but really low A's and regular A's. So I met with the student, and she told me that she wrote the homework down. She had a record of doing it. And most of the time, she admitted every once in a while it fell through the cracks. But she said 90% of the time she did the homework, but she just didn't hand it in. I said, why? Well, she forgot. She put it in the wrong binder. She left it at home. Blah, 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 blah. Now, she was spending about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour a day on homework. And not on weekends. You don't get any homework on weekends, she said. Okay? So I asked why she wasn't getting credit for the homework, or even any credit, beside the fact that it wasn't being turned in. And she said that sometimes they didn't collect homework. Sometimes they did. So even if she did it, if it wasn't collected, it was just sitting in her notebook. And sometimes she just didn't make the connection of the days it was supposed to be handed in. Anyway, here's the bottom line, is that I said, well, listen, why don't you go back to the teachers? She had a team teaching situation. In other words, multiple teachers, one for history, one for math, so on and so on, and see if you can make up some of the work. Can't hurt to ask. You never know. So this is one lesson. If you miss an assignment, it's not written in stone. Go to a teacher. I have found, and I was a teacher for many years, as most of you know, when a student approaches you and wants to try to correct the situation and offers a solution, the teacher's usually receptive. Hey, listen, I know I dropped the ball. I didn't hand in the homework last week. I had it. I just forgot, or I didn't really realize you were collecting it. Can I still hand it in? I want you to at least see that I did it and I understood it and the quality of my work was solid. So this is basically what we did. Our first goal, myself and the student and the family, remember I'm always involving parents, anybody else in the loop on the team, was to create a very clear, just zero tolerance system to make sure the work got done and got done properly and got handed in. And the thing was that it had to be good quality. We didn't want to just rushing through it. Okay? So what we did was we established a mindset. Starting today, we're drawing a line. There's a line. All homework is just as important as any other grade. Must be done, must be complete, must be high quality, must be turned in on time. Like everything, it's got to be tracked. So we got a big poster, like a 2x3 foot poster, put all the subjects, dates, made a chart. And this is not new news. If you've been following the Maximum Education process, I don't insist, but I really prefer everything is done in writing as opposed to cloud. Although you can do it online, I'm okay with it. Just it has to be done. There must be a system. So here's what happened. The system started to work. Now, the one pushback I got, and this is a direct quote, she said, if I get how to do the homework after 3 practice problems, I think she was referring specifically to math, why'd I have to do all 30? Doesn't make sense. I get it. I said, that's just not how it is. There are things in school and in your life that you can control, things you can't. You cannot control how many homework problems teacher's going to give you. Just can't. It's not the role of a student. That is the job and the role of the teacher. It's not a choice. So listen, once we establish the basic ground rules, do all the homework, number 1. Do it all completely, number 2. Do it all with as much quality as you can, number 3. Think long term. And number 5, just make sure you hand it all in. So we got one folder. It's not a giant, enormous technique, but it's an easy one. Got a folder, homework. Done, homework. Completed, homework. Went in the front of her backpack. Her backpack had 2 compartments to it. That's where it all went. She got into class, pulled it out, got the paper out, went to hand it in. Now, this was not a poor student. This was someone that should have picked this up very quickly, basically did. Really, the difference was a mindset. And I always talk about actions, what you can do to improve. Some of it is systems. Some of it's technique. Some of it is actually doing things. But there is a psychological mindset piece to this as well, where you have to have the attitude of success. You have to have the mindset that the little things you do, the little habits that you form, the little techniques build up to medium-sized ones, which builds up to larger ones, which ultimately creates much greater success. So we established all these ground rules, and every week it was monitored by the parents, by myself. Is it all in? Yes, yes, yes. Here's how it all ended up. 2 months later, new report card comes out, straight A's. Straight A's, not one missing homework. Beautiful thing. She said, I have to admit, I still don't think doing all the homework is that important or the most important part of school, but it did upset me that I was getting lower grades than I deserved because I wasn't doing it right. Since I started using the system, I haven't missed one homework assignment and I have an A in all my classes. Perfect. So the lesson here today, at least the lesson I'm going to suggest, and once again, this is right out of Maximum Education, right out of it, my book, and a lot of this stuff, a lot of this things I'm talking about in the podcast are all the actionable things that are coming from all the ideas in this book. So my bottom line is, it's attitude. Sometimes it's between your ears. Sometimes it's just knowing what you have to do, but committing to doing it. It doesn't matter if you're in third grade, fifth grade, seventh grade, ninth grade, 11th grade, college, and even in the professional world, even in a job situation. This is very important basic stuff. The little things build to the medium things, which build to the large things, which create your success. Got it? I want to thank you for listening or viewing. If you're listening, hop over to the YouTube channel. If you can't find it, just let me know. You can always email me because I'd love feedback. I want to know how these things are working for you. SGREENE at MakeTheGrade, which is MakeTheGrade.net. Check me out on social at MakeTheGrade. Facebook community is alive and well. Please check the comments below on how to get involved in that. I think it would benefit anyone and everyone listening. So I want to thank everyone. I hope this helped. Get the right mindset, but have the tools. It's both. You got to have the mindset. You got to have the tools. You put them together, nothing can stop you. Succeed. Excellent. Dr. Stephen Green, the Success Doctor, thanking you for taking a little bit of time with me today. I look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great day.
You've been listening to Make the Grade with the Success Doctor, Stephen Green. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe. For more resources and support, please visit MakeTheGrade.net.